Power BI is a great tool for you guys to visualize your data for specific purposes on your own way. In this short video tutorial, I want to give you guys a quick overview how you can work with Power BI and what are the main advantages. Let's check it out! So guys, what you see on my screen is the program Power BI Desktop, or the Power BI Desktop client, as the most of you will know. This is a specific program you can download from powerbi.com to create your stunning reports in full version. So if you want to create something, always start with Power BI Desktop client. Of course, there's also the web service, which I can show you in a different video, but right now I want to give you a quick overview what you can do with Power BI Desktop, the desktop client program. So what we will do now is the first step to create the reports, work with your data. So what you do is you need some data. See, this is the splash screen, which I will close now because I want to work here with this ribbon over there. Now, the first main advantage of Power BI Desktop Client is the variety of data sources. So if I go here to get data, you will see different data sources like Excel, SQL, CSV, and web, and much more. So if you check it out here, there's a lot of different data sources you can use. It varies from file, from folder, which is a very nice option. I can show you this in a different video where you can import separate Excel files from one folder and always have the newest numbers on your report. Great feature. Database, and so on. Even online services like Dynamics, SharePoint. You can even use Google. You can even use this search bar over here to just search for your data source. So there's a lot of stuff you can do. Now what we'll do now is we will get the first one, which will be a CSV file. Now I got a CSV file here. I'll show you. See, this is a CSV file. It's a mess. See, you have this comma separated values here. It's a customer list. You have a customer ID, the names, the cities, the states, and so on. So this is quite a mess, as the most CSV files are, as we all know. Now this is our first file. I want to get a connection to my Power BI. Now I go back to my desktop client and go here to home, get data, and of course I will choose text CSV. So what I'll do now is I will go to my desktop where I have all this stuff over here, where I can work with all this stuff which I need for my purposes. So let's go here and check it out. So this is my CSV file, it's a customer lookup. See, now what happens here? This is Power Query, as you will see right now. This is the first step. This is the navigator window when it comes to CSV. See, you see the customer ID, the names, pretty nicely in a preview. See, also the delimiter was also seen by this navigator. So if we go to load, we will now load this data immediately into Power BI Desktop to work with it. But before that, I would suggest go to Transform Data. If you click on Transform Data, then Power Query opens up. Now Power Query is a tool which is built inside of Power BI Desktop, which has the main purpose, to transform the data, to shape your data before you work with it. Now, as this is only a quick overview video, let me just show you one or two steps you can do. See, for example, here you see the formats of your columns, of your fields. Check it out if it's okay. Yeah, looks quite nice. Now, what I will do now here first, I will mark these two columns. And as they're marked, I go to transform, and now I could merge the columns. If you would do this in Excel, it would be quite more difficult or much more time consuming. So I go to merge columns, and what I'll do now is I just say, okay, the separator between the two of them is a space, and the name, for example, would be full underline name. My tip is always use this underline. Never use a spacebar for the names of the columns. Power Query doesn't like it too much. Now, check it out. See what happened? It merged the two of them together to one new column. And the cool thing is, over there you have the applied steps. It's like a, you know, like a macro recorder. It records the steps which you do. The first 3 steps Power Query did for us. So this was the first state, if you want, from data source. The first 3 steps Power Query did for us. This one we did for ourselves. We merged the columns. Now check it out. There's no Control C. There's no back button over there. But there's this one. You know, you just can delete the step. So see, both fields are there again. Now what I'll do now, I will mark these 2, and now we go to add column. This is a different column over there, or different ribbon, different part. So if I go to merge columns here, and I say okay, it's a space, no tab, space, and it's a full name, then as you guys will already think about, this is the difference is because it's in add column. You know, the 2 of them, the stays they are, and over there at the end, check it out, we got full name. See? Now I could right click here on this column, and then I could go move to the beginning, and then I go here and I go with here. And everything you do here in this Power Query with your source will be reflected in your desktop client, in your field list if you work with the reports after that. So for example, I could delete this or remove this column over here. It won't be removed in the data source. It's only moved here in the so-called query. See, that's the name of the query. One more thing, once again, there are a lot of things you can do here. So if you want to see an own tutorial just for Power Query, please let me know in the comments. But let me show you one more thing. So for example, a custom country here. I want to work with this later in the report. Now what I do here, I go here, and then in transform, see, transform, I will go to format, and I will do the uppercase thing. And now I have uppercase. See how easy this is? And what I need in the next step is just the first 3 letters from this countries, Mexico, Canada, USA, like here. So I leave it marked, and then over here in transform you have extract. We have extract. Now what we do, we extract the first characters from the left side. See, for example, here we extract the first 3 letters. See there? And if I confirm now, see what happens. I have this one, and here is the step. And as I'm ready with this transformation, I go to close and apply. And what happens then is this query will be loaded into the desktop client. Check it out here. And we see it right now in the fields list. And very important, with the updated fields I just created. For example, see here, I have the full name over here. So let me show you. I could go in this table and show you guys the full name which I just created here in Power Query. So this is the first step. See what you can do with your data. For sure, you will have more than one source. So you will have more data to get in. What I will do here, see, I have product lookup, I have region lookup, store lookup. See, these are all kind of CSVs with specific purposes. For example, here for the stores, and so on. And then check it out here. Here's a folder transactions. In this transaction folder, we have 2 CSV files which have the same structure and the same fields. The only difference is here you got 97, here you got 98. So very, very top current, I know, files for you to work with. But there's in the same folder. So what you can do here now with this thing is, you could import the whole folder with all the files, and for example, if there's a new file 1999 later on, yeah, you just move it into the folder, you just refresh your query, refresh your data, and you have the new data here. It's a fantastic option. As mentioned earlier, this would be quite more time consuming, so it works, and I can show you an own specific video how you can import data from your folder. No matter if it's CSV or Excel, just let me know in the comments. I got the files to show you guys. So what I will do now here, this is just, for training purposes, I put in the first one. What I will do now is I open a file where I, imported all these CSVs together. So it's an own Power BI desktop file for you guys to show what's the next step. The next step to work with, I'm sorry, the next step to work with your files, you know, is to get the data. After getting the data, and you know, to how to say, shape the data here, and of course, very important is that you guys can go here and let me just take this one. Can go here and work with the so-called data model. Now the data model is the background behind all of this stuff. It works in Power BI. It also works in Excel. For example, if you want to, you know, work with Power Pivot Table. So I hope this opens right now. Very nice. So what you will see here now in this data in this file is already completed report, or at least right now. And over there you see the customer lookup is there, the calendar lookup is there. They're all CSV files which I just imported, and then you have a transaction. And let me show you. If you go to Home and then you click on Transform Data, you can go back to the Power Query anytime you want to. You can check out your queries, which you already have here. For example, here the customer lookup, the product lookup. Please don't ignore this error now because it's from different sources. No problem. And you can check it out. See? And then you can go back here and close and apply. So this is the one thing. So the next thing for you guys is to do the following. You go here and then you go to Model. And in this view, because you have three views, if the report view, you have the data view, and this is like an Excel view like this, and you have the model view. In this model view, this is the data model. See here in this view, there are the relationships being built inside of this window. So for example, see here customer lookup. If I go here, it says customer ID, and here it says customer ID in the transaction tables where the transactions are. The same thing here, product lookup. It says product ID, and product ID also in the main table over there. So what you see here is the so-called Rob Colley view. So you may wanna position your lookup tables over there, and below that is a transactions file, the main table. You see here this filter direction, the data flow. So it's pretty nice. So for you guys to check it out, if I go back here to my data view, let me show you. Every customer, of course, has an own custom ID, unique, as you guys know. On number 12, for example, you see this is Jebel Creek from California. That's her ID. Now I will clear the filter here, just for you guys to see the relationship. And then I will go here to the transaction table. I have a custom ID column here, and if I go here now, and I would select, for example, number 12, so her ID, then we see she has got two transactions on December 8th, and the same day, the second transaction. So this is the connection. This is the connection between the tables. If you got more than one table, the data model, and you can see it here visually in this data model. Now, important note, the relationships normally are built automatically by Power BI, so it recognizes the data and creates these relationships. If it does not create a relationship, you can do it on your own. So, let's say, for example, this would not be here. I delete this from 1 day or from 1 second to be correct, and then see what I can do here. I can go here, and I just, you know, with drag and drop, I just create these relationships, and this works. And if you do this correctly, then you got the data, you got the data model, you got the field list over here, and now you can, you know, like here, you can build different so-called visuals. This is the third step in your Power BI desktop client, like here, you know. And the cool thing about this is, of course, that if you check it out, is the cross filtering of the data, and even you can, you know, create some bookmarks where you can tell the story of your data if you want to. Quite nice. And you know, it's just practice, you know. And if you guys want to see specific videos how to create this one, how to work with the so-called DAX measures. DAX measures are really nice you know, formulas. It's a language, but it's quite like Excel in a sense. It's quite the same, just in English. And for me, as I'm from Europe, and it's nice, you know. I can show, for example, the calculate function is one of the most important, if not the important function here. So just let me know in the comments if you want to see, because if you do this, if you work with these measures, guys, you can, you can create new values to work with, inside of your Power BI desktop. So not only the data you imported here, but new data. Like, for example, here, if you check it out, I got here, you see, weekend transactions, weekday transactions. These two measures were not available after importing, but you know, I created this, and now I can cross-filter all this stuff, you know. So basically, just for you to show you inside from the new canvas, if I go here, I can create a new page. Then, very important, you have the visualizations here over there, see? So here, for example, you can pick the visual you want to position on your canvas here. And then, of course, you go and then you can use this search bar over here. And for example, if I type in country, I would receive the store country, the customer country, for example. So I can go to the axis, I can, you know, just drag it here. And if I need some values, I could, you know, go to total transactions, for example. And see, I can expand this pane over here. I put it here under the values, and there you go. See, there is this bar, and the cool thing is you can switch now. You can go to another visual like this. You can go to this pie chart if you want to see. You can see this tree map, you know, to see the different blocks here for you guys. You can also go to a table or to a so-called matrix. It's like a pivot table, so it doesn't have to be, of course, always a chart. There are different options to work with, so quite nice here. And of course, for example, if I go here, and this is so-called slice, you may know this from the Excel. And if I pick the gender of my customers, and I put it here, I can pick it here into this slicer. I can, you know, rearrange this. Then see, with one click, I can check out the numbers here. Okay, female, male. And much more important, I can go here. Very important, if you create a new visual, just click outside of this into the canvas in a blank page. And then, for example, I take this card. The card is very nice for KPIs, for values. And I pick this total transactions value I have. This is this measure. And see, it's displayed here. So what you see now is the total transactions. I can also transform in the format here. But now, right now, I check out USA. Okay, 181K transactions. Once again, I click on here, I have everything. If I click to female, and then I click on Mexico, see, these are the transactions of the female customers from Mexico. And 5 seconds later, these are the transactions of the male customers from Canada, so 8,364. And all this stuff you can do here in this Power BI desktop with your data. Your data you imported first with Power Query, then you checked out this data model, you know, to build these relationships, this data model, the background. Without this, nothing will work. If you got multiple files, I know where you do this. And remember, it doesn't matter if it's a CSV, Excel, SQL, or they're all together in one data model, it doesn't matter. So if the relationships are set correctly, then you can, you know, do stuff like this in Power BI, like, you know, work with some maps, or maybe work with some matrix. And, you know, you can also have so-called drill through, which can, you know, guide you to another table if you would like to. So pretty nice, pretty cool. What you can do, you can, you know, dynamic titles are here, for example. I can show you this, check it out here. I can show you if you guys want to know, like here, see? And you can also work with so-called parameters or slices, you know, to see the percentage change. So this is all possible. Let me know in the comments if you want to see specific videos to this specific features. I will post these videos for you guys. So leave a comment, like this video if you like this video, please, and if you want to see more of these videos, subscribe to my channel. I have videos here in German and in English language, and I hope you guys can benefit from this further measures and further tools and features like I do. So I hope you guys could see in this quick overview what you can do with Power BI, especially Power BI Desktop. If you want to see more videos like Power Query or the data model, the creation of text measures and columns, and much more, please leave a comment and I will go for that. So have a nice day. Bye bye. Take care.